Now at 6, some people in Oregon trying to make things like hunting, fishing, and breeding livestock a crime in the state. Why opponents say it could have a big impact on Oregon's agricultural industry. Plus.
And fireworks are a 4th of July tradition, but some local doctors say many of the injuries they treat this time of year because of them are preventable. Coming up, the safety tips they want every family to know before lighting the fuse.
Also, get ready for the Portland Air National Guard to be flying across our area tomorrow. We'll have details on where you can see their 4th of July flyovers coming up. Your news at sunrise starts right now. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on this 4th of July Eve. I'm Christine Pitawanich in for Matthew and China. We've got a small crew today, just myself and Rod, but a beautiful day ahead, Rod.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really nice. We will clear out of the cloudiness we have this morning and go on to be beautifully sunny this afternoon. That includes you folks at the coast. The cloudiness is in spots this morning. So, for example, this is a fairly sunny start down in Salem, 55 degrees. One more live camera for you. Portland, you can see the cloudiness, 62 as we look, but again, these clouds will be getting out of here and it will be a nice sunny afternoon. And with all the sun, temperatures will start to warm up. We finally made it back up into the 70s yesterday, something we had not done in almost a week. Today I have a 75 at 2 o'clock and then getting up right around 80 degrees at 5 for your high. Morning cloudiness, a sunny afternoon. Light northwest winds. Should be very nice out there today, Christine.
Yeah, excited for the day. Thank you, Rod. This morning, an effort to make hunting, fishing, breeding, and slaughtering livestock a crime in Oregon is one step closer to the November ballot. Now, if the issue goes to voters, it could affect more than Oregon's agricultural industry. The initiative's supporters call it a chance to end animal cruelty, but opponents say it would end Oregon's agriculture industry, which economists say brought in roughly $7 billion last year. More than a third of that came from livestock.
Their second biggest ag crop is cattle and calves. Everybody knows Tillamook Dairy. There's a lot of milk production that happens over in Oregon, and actually quite a bit of chicken egg production, some broilers, some sheep, some sheep and lambs, wool.
And the ripple effect extends into Idaho. Experts say cattle often travel back and forth over the border. The initiative does include something called the Humane Transition Fund, which supporters say would help ranchers adapt if the state bans animal-based livelihoods.
Our campaign is very confident that if 50% or more of Oregonians are wanting to stop killing animals, we can make sure that every Oregonian is still able to get their needs met through alternative strategies.
David Michelson there is chief petitioner. He and paid volunteers collected 142,000 signatures, more than the 117,000 needed to get on the November ballot. They turned them into the Secretary of State's office, and come Monday, the state will begin verifying the signatures with a deadline of August 2nd. Well, the warm summer months tend to bring with them higher utility bills, and the cost only seems to be growing, in part because of the influx of data centers in Oregon and their electricity consumption. But Oregon Governor Tina Kotek is saying that data centers will soon have to pay more. The Power Act would create a new energy rate class for data centers and other very large energy users, which in theory would increase utility rates on data centers while saving Oregonians a little extra cash.
Right now, the price decrease is somewhat modest for residential ratepayers, but by shifting it to the right customer class for the ones who are using the most power, I think we have the opportunity in the long run to see decreases that'll really impact people.
The proposal would increase the utility rates for data centers by 29%, and Oregonians would see a 1.6% reduction as soon as their August bill. The Public Utility Commission is expected to take up the rate change at their meeting on Tuesday. Cell phone service has been fully restored in the Scappoose area. Earlier this week, AT&T users in the area were unable to call 911 because of an outage lasting days. But Scappoose fire crews have confirmed service has returned. Now, over the next few days, AT&T may fine-tune its system so customers could see occasional changes in their signal. To Washington now, where the Department of Labor and Industries has opened 2 new investigations into pulp and paper mills in the state, one in Longview and another in Port Townsend. It says the plants use a similar process to the Nippon Dynawave facility, where a chemical tank disaster killed 11 workers just over a month ago. The tank is now empty and set to be taken apart. Investigators at the state and federal levels will likely take months to determine what led up to that failure. The new inspections are being described as, quote, precautionary and focused on worker safety. Officials from Smurfit Westrock in Longview, one of the plants under investigation, says it will not comment on the investigation while it is ongoing. Firefighters say the Lyle Hill fire is almost completely contained. Good news, it's sitting at 95%. The fire started on Sunday in Lyle, Washington, which is about 10 miles northwest of the Dalles on the Washington side of the gorge. That fire grew pretty quickly to more than 200 acres, and that is fortunately where it stayed. Crews will continue monitoring and knocking down hot spots inside the fire area, but at this point, all evacuation orders have been lifted and thankfully, no structures have burned. Well, as we all know, the 4th of July is tomorrow, and the Bureau of Land Management is issuing a stark warning saying that anyone who starts a wildfire could face jail time and some stiff fines. The Bureau says despite the holiday weekend, fire restrictions remain in effect across all BLM lands in both Oregon and Washington. That means no fireworks, sky lanterns, exploding targets, tracer rounds, and no steel core ammunition. Officials warn anyone who starts a wildfire could face up to $100,000 in fines, a year in jail, and be held responsible for firefighting costs. 4th of July celebrations are about to get underway, whether you're enjoying the holiday by the pool, at a barbecue, maybe watching a fireworks show. But doctors are hoping the one place you don't end up is the emergency room. Our Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live now with what they want families to keep in mind before they light off the fuse. Good morning, Corey.
Yeah, good morning, Christine. That's exactly right. Doctors say they see a lot of the same types of injuries every single year around the 4th of July. And when you combine the fireworks with more people getting out in the heat and a lot of people consuming alcohol, the risk only goes up for injury. And that can include things like 1st and 2nd degree burns and injuries that can cause permanent damage to eyes or even the loss of a finger, which can happen with fireworks that are more explosive. Doctors say that's because those fireworks are extremely hot and it only takes a few seconds for things to go wrong. They also say the majority of the cases they see in the emergency room are preventable, a common misconception. They say people feeling like they can keep a cut dry or apply ice to it and that'll prevent it from getting infected, but they say that's not the case. They also say preventable injuries occur to children also. Fireworks like sparklers are very popular among the kids, but Kaiser Permanente doctors say despite seeming harmless, even those can become dangerous.
Gently cool it off, not with ice, just cool water is fine so you don't cause freezing harm to the skin. But you want to immediately gently cool that area so the heat stops going deeper and burning you more. If there is peeling skin from a burn, I would treat it like a cut.
That advice we just heard from that doctor for minor burns at home. But of course, as she mentioned, anything more serious, you'll want to visit an ER. And health officials also say it's best to have something nearby in order to put out a firework if it does get out of control, like a bucket of water. And if possible, they also recommend designating someone who's sober to be in charge of those fireworks to prevent the risk of injury. Christine?
Good to remember. Corey Johnson reporting live. Thank you, Corey. And speaking of the 4th, if you're in Washington, listen up, because the city of Vancouver, the Historic Trust, and the National Park Service are putting on a major event to celebrate America's 250th birthday. It's happening today at the Fort Vancouver Parade Grounds. There will be a full day of free, family-friendly activities, including live entertainment, a pet costume contest, historic weapons demonstrations, and even an outdoor movie under the stars. Sounds nice. The event runs from noon to 11 p.m. and is open to all ages. Also, this holiday weekend, expect a record number of people to hit the roads, rails, or runways. If you're driving anywhere, AAA says while prices are dropping, Oregon's average price for regular gas is still higher than this time last year. Experts caution as well that oil prices could spike again, depending on what happens in the Persian Gulf.
We do expect gas prices to continue to ease throughout the weekend, barring unforeseen events, and really it will all depend, as usual, as to what's going on in the Middle East.
Now, for some perspective, these are the highest gas prices over the holiday in 4 years. Well, tomorrow, the 142nd Wing of the Portland Air National Guard Base will be conducting flyovers at 4th of July ceremonies throughout Oregon and Southwest Washington. The flyovers will be starting over Lake Oswego at 10:05 a.m. and they're going to be ending with McMinnville at 12:07 p.m. You can find a full list of times and locations on the 142nd Wing's Facebook page. Okay, let's get to your forecast with meteorologist Rod Hill. Rod, a beautiful day shaping up.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice. Confidence is near 100% today that everybody clears out. That includes you folks at the coast. It is a solid low cloud deck with some fog at the beaches this morning. You're looking live at Seaside, 56 degrees. You have mostly sunny skies up over Mount Hood and the Cascades at this hour. It's 49 up at 6,000 feet, where temperatures will get up into the 60s later today. Here are the clouds. Notice they're not completely solid. Here's the reserve golf course camera from the Explorer Tualatin Valley location out in Aloha. 57 is the number. These clouds, again, will be clearing out for the most part, even at the beach, by the noon hour. Temperatures right now 62 in Troutdale, 57 out in Hillsboro. It is 55 down in Salem. Winds are being reported as light, and here's the weather map for later today. We'll stop the clock at 5 p.m. and basically everybody's sunny. 60s at the coast, upper 70s to about 80 for the Willamette Valley. This does show 75 up in Kelso Longview, but we've got well up into the mid 80s in Central Oregon, the Dalles, Pendleton, and John Day. No red flag warnings for high fire danger today, but there is that fire weather watch that's been issued for tomorrow from the Dalles out through the Columbia Basin into Pendleton, where it'll be a dry, sunny day, and west winds tomorrow will be gusting to about 30 miles per hour in that area. Winds in the gorge this morning are light. All right, 80 today. We will have sunshine by noon, and we have all kinds of sun tomorrow for July 4th. Just a gorgeous day, 81. Clear skies on Sunday, 84. We do have a hot Monday showing up. Looks like a little spike up into the upper 80s, but then we cool back down going into the mid part of next week, and that's your forecast.
As you said, just gorgeous. Thanks, Rod.